Thank you, Ronald. Just a little mic check here. All set? Well, good afternoon. I'm Frank Byrne, President of St. Mary's Hospital, and it's my pleasure to welcome you here to St. Mary's. We're so glad you could join us for this very special announcement. St. Mary's, as you may know, is celebrating its 99th birthday this year. That means nearly a century of caring for those in this community who have needed us the most. We're honored to serve you, and we couldn't be happier to be here today bringing you very exciting news. Compassion is at the heart of all we do. It's who we are at St. Mary's, and if you look behind me on the wall, it's one of our core values. That's why last year we began discussions with Ronald McDonald House Charities about an exciting new way that we could support the families who would trust their children's care to us. Every year more than 3,300 babies are born at St. Mary's, and more than 500 require some extra special care in our neonatal intensive care unit. For parents with a child in the NICU, it's one of the most helpless feelings in the world. Believe me, I know. My wife Cindy and I experienced that firsthand when our oldest daughter Shannon was born nearly 30 years ago. For these families, it can be a roller coaster. One day, their child is doing well, and the next, they can't leave the child's bedside because things are so critical. It's during these moments when you wish that as a parent, you could just step back for a few seconds, catch your breath, but you also don't want to leave the hospital. You want to be there for your child. That's why we're happy to announce today that St. Mary's will soon be home to the very first Ronald McDonald Family Room in the state of Wisconsin. Located right here in the hospital, just steps from our pediatrics floor, our pediatric intensive care unit, and our neonatal intensive care unit, it will offer families with the most critical needs a space to rest, to recharge, to have a snack, to make a private phone call, all while knowing that they can be at their child's bedside within seconds if the need be. Compassionate care, that's what St. Mary's is all about. Building this Ronald McDonald Family Room here in St. Mary's is a natural next step for us in supporting the families who entrust their care to us. And now, to explain more about this project, is Kevin Huddleston, our Executive Director of Ronald McDonald House Charities. Kevin.
Can we find out if there was anybody here 99 years ago by chance? Anybody here? Oh, okay, go on. I was just going to say thanks.
Thank you, Ronald, and thank you, Frank, very much. I know I speak for our entire staff, our cadre of volunteers, the board of directors, and everyone involved when I say this is the most exciting thing that has happened to the Ronald McDonald House Charities of Madison since we opened the Ronald McDonald House 18 years ago in 1993. This family room project is really an opportunity for us to extend what we do at the Ronald McDonald House. The really neat thing about it is that the family room is essentially a scaled down version of the Ronald McDonald House inside of a hospital. There are about 160 family rooms around the world. And as Frank mentioned, this will be the first one in Wisconsin, which is extremely exciting. There's a reason why this program is so popular, and that's because it affords families the opportunity to be close to their children, especially those families with the most critical of children and don't even want to leave the building. They don't even want to leave the hospital, but they're close enough to where they can go be with their child and still have a place to come back and have some rest and respite. So when you enter the doors of a Ronald McDonald Family Room, what's unique about it is that you're actually leaving the medical sort of environment of the hospital and you're walking into a very home-like, relaxing place of respite where you can catch a breath, have a cup of coffee, sit down and just watch the news for a few minutes, sleep overnight in one of the 4 bedrooms. If your child is one of the most critical, that's what those bedrooms are for. But it is a wonderful place of respite for families. So we're extremely excited about it. Inside the family room, you have things like, we have a kitchen, we have a dining area. As I mentioned, we have 4 private bedrooms with their own private baths. We have a place for computer access and internet access. We have a quiet room, a living area with a television, a little game spot for the kids. It's just a fantastic space, and it's actually, as you're going to see in a minute, it's quite a large area for families to come and be able to relax and be a part of that. So we're very proud at the Ronald McDonald House to have served over 15,000 families in the last 18 years, but those families come from outside of Madison to Madison to have their child treated. One of the unique things about the family room is the family room will be a place where families, even from this community, any family from Madison or outside of Madison will be able to utilize this facility for day use, and again, those with the most critical children can use the bedrooms at night. And so it's a wonderful partnership, and we're very excited about it. I'm very pleased that we have 2 families here with us today, both of whom have had their children here in St. Mary's Hospital, and one of whom I know have stayed in the Ronald McDonald House. David and Sally Wolf, they're a happy, healthy family, but their world was turned upside down when their son Alex, at the age of 15, came into St. Mary's Hospital with some flu-like symptoms. Nobody would have guessed that Alex would have been on life support before he actually completely recovered and went home. And then, of course, we also have Stacy and Adam Keene with their 2 beautiful twin daughters, Madison and Michaela. These 2 beautiful little girls that you'll see in just a second, they were born 13 and a half weeks early. And it wasn't until 106 days and several surgeries later that these little girls were able to be strong enough to go home. And so I can't think of a better group of people that are more uniquely qualified to explain to you how important this particular program is for St. Mary's Hospital, for the families of Madison, and any family who comes here with their child to be treated. So I'll turn over now to the Keens.
Hi, my name is Stacy Keene, and I'm from Juneau, Wisconsin. This is my daughter Madison, and this is my husband Adam, and our daughter Michaela. Like Kevin said, our girls were born 13 and a half weeks early here at St. Mary's. Madison was in the hospital for 99 days, and her sister was in for 106. I can't thank the doctors and nurses enough of this hospital for the outstanding care they received during that time. And while they were in the hospital, I was lucky enough to stay at the Ronald McDonald House for 100 plus days. Again, the staff at Ronald McDonald is just as great. The volunteers there really make that organization. When we heard about this family room, we were very happy to be able to help any way we can. It's very hard to leave your child in the NICU and go home every night, even if it is just down the road to the Ronald McDonald House. You just want to be here all the time. Even when our daughter Michaela had a couple surgeries, some of her surgeries were emergency late at night, and it was very hard leaving, not knowing the next day how she was going to be. So if we were able to stay here at the hospital, it would have just been a relief. And if we can help families going forward in this situation, it's totally worth it. Even like Kevin said, just to check your email or make a phone call to your parents for the support. It's a challenging situation to be in. But 16 months later, here we are, and our girls are happy.
David and Sally Wolf will come and share with you some of their story.
Well, hi folks, as you heard, I'm David. This is Sally, and our healthy, happy children are in high school, so they couldn't join us today. Alex didn't want to skip his chemistry test to be here. He got real sick back in January of 2010, and we spent a number of days here without leaving, and having something like this to have a place to stay is a very, very nice idea, and I'll let Sally tell you more about the story.
Well, as Dave said, we live in Madison, so we've always been at St. Mary's for our care. And Alex was hospitalized for, I think, about 21 days in January of 2010. He was admitted with flu symptoms, and on Thursday had trouble breathing, went into the intensive care unit. At that point, Dave was home with our daughter, who was 14 at the time, and we just kind of grabbed whatever and came, and we didn't leave the hospital for 3 days. He ended up going on a ventilator early Saturday morning, and was on a ventilator for a few more days until he came out of the ICU. And I think for us at that time, even though our home is only 15 minutes away, we couldn't go anywhere. We needed to be with our daughter as well, and it was really important to have a place to go when the staff needs to tend for your child and they need you to leave the room, or logistically you need to figure out who's going to take care of the dog, who's going to empty the fridge, who's keep in touch with family who are out of town. So Alex today is 17. He's driving everywhere. He's involved in athletics, doing well in school, going to prom. He's doing great, and we couldn't be more grateful for the care we received at St. Mary's. It could not have been better than it was, and I think this will be a wonderful addition for families. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dave and Sally, and thank you, Adam and Stacy. Another big hand, please, for the Dean family and the Wolf family. And Sally's being a bit modest. Alex, she says he's involved in athletics. He's a heck of a tennis player. I hear he's got a pretty mean serve. So thank you for entrusting your care to us. So what do you think? I think the Keene family and the Wolf family have made a very compelling case for the need for us to have a Ronald McDonald family room right here at St. Mary's Hospital. So you've heard about the family room. Let's take a peek at what it's going to look like. I've enlisted two of our friends, St. Mary's Happy Heart, and the one, the only, our hero, Ronald McDonald. To help us show how it'll look. So now we'll have the first one unveiled. On Ronald's side there, that's a bird's eye view of the area. And again, you see it's more than 3,500 square feet of space to provide respite space, sleep space, relaxation space for families. And again, we'll leave these up here so you can come and see them. On the left side is a kitchen area with a pantry that will be stocked with complimentary food and beverages. And in the middle is a living and dining area with 4 sleep rooms towards the back, each with a private bath. Here, Happy is revealing one of our sleep rooms. Again, each of those will have a private bath. There's also a library with computers and a free Wi-Fi, and a quiet room for privacy and reflection. So here's a closer look at the front entrance to the space. And as Kevin pointed out before, the idea, the concept, and I had the privilege of developing the first one of these in the country some years ago in Indiana, that the idea is once you step into that door, you've left the hospital. You're in the hospital, but you've left the feeling, the emotional baggage of the hospital, and you've moved on to get some respite space. So that is the door. And finally, we have Happy revealing the living space that I mentioned, complete with comfortable furniture, a television, computers, and reading materials. Building space like this is not easy, but it's a tremendous benefit to the families. And you've heard the Wolf family and the Keene family tell you about that. St. Mary's Foundation and Ronald McDonald House Charities will be able to start constructing this space once we have the funds raised to do that. I'd like the members of the Ronald McDonald Charities Board and the St. Mary's Foundation Board and the staff of both organizations to wave your hands so you can see who they are. These are the folks that are going to pull this together. Let's have a big hand. make this happen, we need to raise $1 million. Do you think we can do it? We know our community will be inspired to help. There are several folks in the audience today who have already donated to the Ronald McDonald Family Room. We just announced it today, and they've already donated. Raise your hand if you've donated. When the Ronald McDonald Family Room space is complete, we know the families who use it will surely appreciate all the love and support that you and our community have given to make it possible. So thank you for coming today. Come on up, enjoy the schematics, enjoy the refreshments, and again, thanks so much for being here today to help us make this exciting announcement about the Ronald McDonald Family Room at St. Mary's Hospital. Thank you.